Well, I've always been trying to wake humanity up. Sometimes being very brutally honest and a bit harsh may be the best way. Most of us are asleep and unconscious in what we do day to day. We pick a job, or we pick a career, or we even pick a life partner, and many times those decisions are unconscious, maybe led by a family or led by a trauma event in our life, or just led by circumstances. So when you wake humanity up, humans start being conscious about the decisions they make with their life, what their purpose is in the world, what the purpose of the world is, and they try to contribute to bring a world of love and light into existence. I've had a lot of trials and error along the way. I also did video games with the same philosophy. We're going to be creators and create worlds in video games, and that's also happening, but it hasn't had the effect of waking humanity up. So finally, when I got to the realm of entrepreneurship, you can really see the effects of it day to day. You wake people up to pursue their dreams. It's not about building something to sell. It's not about building something to exit. It's about building something to last, right? If you're an entrepreneur and you find your purpose and you're working on something that matters, why would you ever want to sell? I think you'd want to build that forever, or at least until its utility is no longer there. So I started a company called The Funded, and The Funded's mission was very simple: correct the wrongs of the funding world and venture capital. And it started in 2007, and by around 2010, 2011, it had succeeded. Now the site is still up. It's not maintained like it once was, but it had achieved its mission, and to some extent then it was easy for me to move on. So not all businesses need to be around forever. Some of them will fix problems that once they're fixed, the business has no more utility. But I think as an entrepreneur, you generally want to pursue your purpose and work on something that matters. And in most cases, especially today, those businesses should be built to last. The first wave of businesses that emerged after the 2008-2009 global financial collapse really went around and started fixing all the little problems of the world. What we're starting to see now, especially with the release of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals in 2016, our businesses are starting to build things that matter, and matter on a much longer time scale than just a few years or fixing some small problems. So over the next 10 years, we're going to see businesses that are being built, startups that are being built, that are making real impact on humanity, better living conditions for us, better living conditions for the life on the planet, gender equality, reducing inequalities. All those UN Sustainable Development Goals will become very large companies, and that will continue a large wave of innovation that's going to keep the global economy rolling in a very positive way for many more years to come. We see about an exit every few weeks, anywhere from 3 weeks to 6 weeks. Some of them are large, thankfully. Many of them are small, but yeah, the exits are coming in. And what's the nice thing about that is when there's an exit in the Founder Institute, the money comes to us, and then we give that money back. We give 75%, in some cases 85% of that money back to the community. Through the Founder Institute, we own approximately equity in nearly 4,000 companies. I think it's just over 4,000 companies. And then personally, you know, it's a rounding error after that. It's a few more by comparison. So I tend to consolidate my time and effort into the Founder Institute because it is having such a positive effect on the world. And then occasionally, if there's a business that I feel needs to exist in the world or is important for the evolution of humanity, and for one reason or another it's not within the family of the Founder Institute, then I might invest or advise those businesses. I'm not necessarily sweet, I'm not necessarily harsh. I just try to find the best method to deliver a message so that it gets heard and acted on so that the person can be successful. And it's a challenge. As I said, sometimes being really harsh is a very effective means, but it can perpetuate some negativity. So right now what I'm trying to look at is how can I deliver a message that's effective and positive at the same time. Sometimes being very brutally honest and a bit harsh may be the best way. The Founder Institute's 10 years old around now, and if you remember 10 years ago, Lehman Brothers collapsed, and it collapsed on the day that I was buying my house and all my bank accounts were frozen. And I had thought at the time, how can we make the world a better place? And the answer was clear. If entrepreneurs were trying to fix all the problems of the world and create new opportunities in the world, we could see a better world emerge. And 10 years later, we've been on a continuous boom cycle in humanity, one of the longest boom cycles in recent memory, where the stock market's growing, where problems are getting solved, where opportunities are being unlocked. And in a small way, the Founder Institute has contributed to that by helping thousands of people around the world pursue their dreams and build companies that will make the world a better place.